Good morning, coffee moaners.
Good morning, coffee moaners. Lovely to see. God, the birds are singing away this morning, if you can hear that.
The birds are twittering, the foxes are limping. I saw a fox with 3 legs the other day wandering through our garden. I felt really sorry for it.
We've got some huge foxes in our garden, which I have to say does frighten me with the puppy. That's why we always take her out on a lead. Oh, that's her. She's woken up.
The Croydon fox is something to be marvelled at, really. When you see the Croydon fox crossing a road, it uses pedestrian crossings and it looks you in the eye. It just kind of looks at you like that. Anyway, do tune in for our gardening series this year, Green-Fingered Hell. The first job in Green-Fingered Hell is going to be making the garden fox safe or puppy safe. But anyway, good morning, guys. Morning to everyone. If you're listening on podcast, any of the names you hear us refer to is not us having some kind of strange mental health moment. It's actually us talking to the wonderful community that is currently chatting to us in the live chat here. So what are we talking about? I'm sorry. I know Iran is the absolute topic of the moment, and it's complicated and it's being used and it has many sort of shards to it, many aspects to it that are both worrying, obviously worrying in terms of the danger to Iranians who are protesting against their regime, but also the way in which international powers such as especially Israel and America have their hand in it. So we're going to talk about that, but we have reached a bit of a tipping point where Iran is threatening to execute protesters. This is the last red line that Trump has said, if you cross this red line, you're going to pay for it. So we're going to talk about that. I said to Naz, I said, I just have to talk about Keir Starmer being invited to join the Gaza Peace Board. I just have to let off steam. And we've got many other clips and quotes and bits and bobs that just prove yet again that Trump is not the right man to be in charge of things. And I also want to float this thought. We went out, can we say what we went to see last night?
Of course,
yeah. I mean, we saw The Voice of Hind Rajab, the film about the young girl. Do you remember the 6-year-old girl who was shot at 355 times, her and her family killed in a car in Gaza? We're going to be reviewing the film, but it was the most staggering experience.
We sobbed with everybody else in that cinema. It was a private screening, and I still haven't fully recovered from what I witnessed because they use the actual recordings. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be reviewing it and posting that later.
But that is a kind of reminder. It just reminded us both of not the ones forgotten, but when you were taken back to it, the intensity of what Israel and the awfulness of what Israel has actually done. I hate to say it, the way in which Israel is trying to distance everyone from the horror is baked into the Iran situation, is baked into everything that we're experiencing. We are being told to forget. We're being told to move on. And I think it was quite a shock to me, not because one knows the story, but the shock of last night. So we've got some clips. I've got another clip from Mike Pompeo, which you will just find absolutely
halfway
staggering.
Through Mark playing it to me yesterday, I said to him, you're going to have to turn that off because I'm going to be physically sick. That's how shocking. What's that this morning? Shocking. What they're saying out loud. And I think that is such a hard thing. We're being sort of just body slammed into truths because these things would have been said behind closed doors before by politicians, and now they're saying them out loud everywhere. There's nothing's changed, has it? It's just that there is no mask anymore. Very tough.
Very tough. Zoe says that film would be so emotional. I couldn't even watch the trailer without crying. Now, I think it's more, well, we'll talk about it when we do the review, but probably because the review won't be in something as topical as this. Just to say on that, if your heart is with Gaza and you're an activist, you've been behind the kind of campaign for fairness and equity and anti-apartheid, and you feel you can't watch it, buy a ticket to see it and don't go.
Yeah, and please promote it. It's enormously important. It's a piece of history.
Yeah.
This is so important, this film. because within this one story, it tells the story. It tells the whole story.
Katie Much has just gifted 5 memberships.
Thank you so much.
That's very kind of you. And there is a live Sunday show tonight. Members Sunday show.
And the members area show is always totally politics free. It's where we get cozy. It's where we get chatty. It's where we get silly. So it's an escape from the world. So before we launch into the world, I don't know if anyone's seen this 75 hard. Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, it's been popping up all over the place, but today it's in the papers because Paddy McGuinness has done it, right?
No likey, no lighty.
No likey, no lighty. Has anybody heard of it first? First of all, apparently it's TikTok crazy, it's TikTok idiots, and it is the latest fitness craze. And basically, it consists of 75 days of doing the real tough stuff.
Right.
Right. So I'm just looking for I did save the article. So for 75 days, you do 2 workouts every single day. Right. Just trying to find this photo of Paddy McGuinness.
Zoe's seen it on TikTok.
Oh, you see. What did you think, Zoe? I'm going to be honest. No, let me finish telling you more about it.
I can't believe we're about to show Paddy McGuinness's abs.
Yeah. I put it on the WhatsApp group. So 75 days, 2 workouts a day, 1 very intense and must be outside. And then the second one could be something like yoga or Pilates or something like that. You have to have 75. So for 75 days, you choose either like a whole food diet, if you're just wanting to get healthy, you're not particularly wanting to lose fat, and then there's a much stricter diet. But wait for this, right? This is why it's called hard. If you cheat at any point, even 74 days in, there he is.
No, I haven't got it on yet.
You have to go back to the beginning and start the 75 days again.
Right.
The other thing about it is
there's Paddy McGuinness before, looking a little bit like E.T., and after. No likey, no lighty.
Does anyone think he's pushing his stomach out in the first one?
Maybe.
I mean, to be fair, he's done a very good job.
Be the R2 to the D2. Be the hand to the solo.
I love all that. I love it when you do those. Do more, Paddy. Do them more of those. They make me laugh.
Be the R2 to the D2.
Each one of the training sessions is 45 minutes, right?
Mel says, seen it on TikTok, but loads of people never get past a week.
Which
means they have to keep going back again and again and again.
Now, you know why this appealed to me a little bit?
You like Paddy McGuinness's
He did it for children in need. So he must have raised a load of money. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to do something that it needs to be done for other people. Experts warn that while some people may see impressive results, the program is not suitable for everyone. It is
Tim Lawrence says apparently it's AI is belly.
No,
looks AI to
he
you,
would not.
it?
He would not be
not
silly enough to do
not
that.
if it's for charity.
So
charity.
He said, if you've got even an ounce of willpower, why not give it a whirl? And I questioned myself with that. I thought, have I got an ounce of willpower? Do you think of me as somebody that has willpower?
I don't know, but people on podcasts will be wondering why you're making that noise with your anus.
Excuse the puppy squeaks. But there's also very strong evidence that people do this, but then get to 75 and it all goes back to square one.
Right.
But what I was thinking was, I've got a real problem at the moment with consistency.
Right.
with my exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, also you have to read every day. That's another part of it, Mark.
Read every day.
You have to read every day for half an hour.
Right.
So it's not just body, it's mind too. Just see what the other one was. What do you think so far?
Can anyone do this? Could anyone? I'm not 75 days. I mean, I've done 875 workouts across 2 years.
Oh, I think if anyone could do it, you could do it. That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
So alcohol is strictly prohibited.
Well, that's
there
easy.
is no such thing as a cheat meal.
Right.
But you've prohibited alcohol for 21 years.
No, it's astonishing. I just did a film for about my rehab, and it was when I said it, I was like, "Fucking hell, man! 21 years." We lived in a different era back then. We didn't have iPhones when I got sober.
But what I was interested about this is many of us will say I've got no willpower, right?
Yeah.
But like Mark might say,
Never said that.
No, about you.
Oh.
But I would say to you, look at how you've not drunk for 21 years. Look at how, no matter how exhausted you are, no matter where you are, no matter if you're practically in a gulag, which is what our laundry room can feel like, packed with stuff, miserable, grey, messy. Like you always turn up and you do it. So you have extraordinary willpower, right? And consistency is the key to everything in life, right? So I would say, I've got no willpower. But it's about looking for something that you have done, right? That other people say, I mean, like I've done 2 marathons, but I don't ever qualify myself for that because I hated it. I wasn't very good at it. I was this, I was that. But actually, I did do 2 marathons.
So, absolutely.
So I think...
And quite a few half marathons.
What I got from this...
So are you suggesting I should do it? Let's cut to the chase.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You must not be listening to me.
No,
because
I am
I'm saying
to you.
What I got from this is, what can we take from this is that we're so quick to look at things that other people achieve and go, oh, I could never do that. I've not got this. I never can do consistency. I haven't got willpower. But if you actually sit with yourself and say, well, I gave birth twice on the kitchen floor, without anything. And I would say, oh, I'm terrible with pain. Well, actually, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, like I gave birth and like that was really tough. The first one was really tough. So actually, Nadia, you're able to do endurance.
Yeah.
So that is your capacity. So it's about what you tune into. So if there's people here today, whatever they're wanting, to read more, which is mine. I say, oh, I'm rubbish at that. I've got no consistency. Well, actually, no, I can do. If you want to lose weight,
you're the
find
master,
the way that
you're
works
the
for
master of those headlines. I mean, you're very good at giving out advice, but you're terrible with yourself. You're the master of saying those sorts of things. No, but I want to read, but I'm terrible. No. And then you just sort of live to the terrible part of it.
No, but that's the point that I'm making. Yeah. I'm saying, so when I read that today and started to berate myself, I said, no, come on, Nadia, what can you do? And so I was just sharing that thought with people.
Zoe says she wants to stick to wine and yoga.
Well, that's it. Can you for 75 days?
Dawny says, I'm doing it now. I also do a 50-mile run every day for extra strength. I just CBA with that. Seriously, can't be asked. Love that. For a good cause, yes, but otherwise, no.
But the other thing I was thinking was, because
who has the time to work out twice a day? Well, it's interesting you should say that, Deborah O'Keefe.
If you're working, you make the time.
No, but listen, so I always do my workout at lunchtime. So it's like and if you can work out close to where you are, what?
I don't know how you do that.
And if you can work out close to where you are working, which we're very lucky because we work from home, then there's no time. It's like it was half an hour. You need half an hour. People will go out and have a cigarette break or a vape break. I remember this. And you'd go out for 20 minutes. You'd end up for half an hour. And do you remember that feeling where you'd all look at your watch and go, oh, bloody hell. Oh my God, I've been out. Well, half an hour. You've done your exercise.
So they would say to you, 75 hard, wouldn't they? They would say to you, well, if you're going to work, make that whatever your fitness level is, either a run or a fast walk or whatever. If you think about it, if a number pops up and it's somebody that you really like on the phone, you would give that half hour to it. So it's not about doing 75. It's not about doing these streams, but it's about just tapping back into. If you want to do something, don't say to yourself, like I do all the time, oh, well, I'd be rubbish at that. Look at where you haven't been rubbish, and you can be your own social media influencer and your own inspiration. So I am inspired by the fact that I did endurance when I gave birth. I have that in my character. I did a marathon. Okay, it took me 8.5 hours. Marsha said I should have got 2 medals, but I did do it. I did get to the end. So, that was just my thought.
You ran for twice as long as the person who finished first. I mean, that's more of an achievement than the person who finished first. The person who won the marathon ran for a couple of hours. You ran for 8. No, 6.
Well, I did. six
First
and a half.
one.
First one. But
She
I
did
did.
a fast
I
bar
walked a lot. I walked a lot of it, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that was just my thought for the day. We can look to our own selves
If
our own influencer.
If Miranda is watching, a friend, I've never recovered from the fact that you were at mile 23 on the last London Marathon I did. And I remember trying to dig so deep to just for that 50 meter of your vision of seeing me looking strong. My calf muscle had gone, my thigh muscle had gone. I was in cramps. And as I walked past you, I literally felt like and looked like a bowl of jelly. So it's quite a humiliating experience, the marathon.
Yeah. You know, for some people, it might be, oh, I'm going to stay consistent so that I can raise this money for this, or I'm going to stay consistent because I'm going to save myself this money and I'm going to get myself a holiday. And it's like whatever works. Look where things have worked for you before when you've needed it. That's what I'd say.
Well, and the reason I like doing it in the utility room, do you know why?
Said the actress, the bishop.
Do you know why?
No.
No lighty, I like it.
Kiki says it's because you like to suffer.
I didn't even hear my punchline. Literally no response. Literally, it's like, do you close your ears? When I've noticed you say, literally, you have
what it is was I heard you talking about what it was in there and I remembered what I wanted to say to you.
Yeah, when
so
you
I
think
skipped.
you don't hear. No, but when you think you can't hear. I'm worried about you. When you think you can't hear.
Will you now fucking shut up? Because in a minute, what? Say it again.
No.
Can somebody tell me what he said?
You obviously would want to rather look at Paddy McGuinness's abs. There they are. Look at him on the left. That doesn't look real. I'm not an abs woman. Look at the man. I know what you mean. It does look a bit polished, buffed. Anyway, okay. Well, should we move on?
Yes, let's do the world.
My mind is inspired, says Sherry71, but I only slept for 3 hours last night, so my body isn't in tune with my mind. Kind, haha, maybe tomorrow.
So, well, you know, that in that you say, do you know what? Everything, unless it was work that I have to be, so I have to, everything can wait. If you were going to, all those things that you were going to do today that can wait, make them wait and lie on the sofa and look at the sun.
Can I just say quickly to Christopher, who bought 50 anonymous random memberships right at the end of that live where everything crashed out in a really odd way. Chris, I'm so sorry to hear this. I'm so sorry, but my nerve pains just got to the level that I can't distract myself. So we'll have to catch up later. But with me leaving early, I'll spread the love by offering. No, you're not offering any more. No. You've done Christopher.
I'm so sorry. You're
I wish you could be up to join us tonight. So, oh, he has. Bloody hell. Fucking hell, Chris.
Oh, that's
Chris,
so kind.
That's so kind of you.
But I'm worried about you being in pain. I don't like that.
Yeah. Did you get my message last night? I hope so. Oh, Chris, look after yourself. Look after yourself. Passive aggressive. I heard a weird advert on the radio on LBC. It said, since you've already broken your New Year rules, buy an Audi instead. That's the world we live in.
Fucking hell.
That's the world we live in.
There's me pontificating about find your own self.
Yeah. Okay, let's start.
So hot.
It's really hot. Can you open windows? Should we open windows?
Can we open windows?
No.
Could we bring somebody to open the windows?
No brighty, no lighty. It's not quite the same, is it? When old, what's his name? Jemima and what's my name in that? Tarquin. Tarquin. No lighty, no lighty. Have you seen that show? That remarkable Paddy McGuinness with his fabulous abs. Had quite a flabby belly before. Let's get on the piece. Anyway, on that note, we're moving on. Sending lots of big hugs to you, Christopher. Feel better soon. Lots of big hugs, matey. Flip. Okay. Well, let me use the headlines as the kind of conversation starter. Iran ignores Trump's threats and vows to fast-track executions after detaining 18,000 demonstrators. That's in the Daily Mail. Iran's deadly vow. Iran ignores Trump's threats and vows fast-track executions after detaining 18,000 demonstrators. Now, as I'm reading these headlines, you have to remember we have a mainstream legacy media that has had zero interest in the Gaza genocide. They've sought to delegitimize it. They've sought to fan the flames of legitimizing Israel's so-called self-defense. So you've always got to ask yourself the question, that when the highly corrupt and jaundiced and one-sided hypocritical Daily Mail gets behind something, why?
When they didn't give a damn about tens of thousands of children.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one for only talking about the children because there's also men and women in there that have suffered horribly. But I'm just talking about the Daily Mail and the way that would do. So imagine if there was 5 children to be that were going to be slaughtered, right? In any of these countries, they would go insane, right? But not for Gaza. So as Mark says, what Farage and the Mail and all that, if they're running to something, question it.
If you know that you disagree with, and I think a vast majority of rational thinking people disagree with Trump, disagree with Badencock, disagree with Farage, certainly disagree with Benjamin Netanyahu, when they're all banging the drum for regime change in Iran, you have to start asking questions. Now, when you ask those questions, the answer isn't necessarily simple, because the regime in Iran is oppressive, repressive, and horrendous. And so there are countless, tens of thousands, millions of, what was her, Nazarene, what's her name?
Nazarene.
Yeah. You know, there are many people who have been imprisoned, have been killed, have been
tortured.
So no one is talking about this as if the Iranian regime is some kind of fucking, you know, beautiful spa retreat. Far from it. But it doesn't, but the fact that coming to the party are some of the most disgusting, illegal, wanted war criminals, countries that sidestep the International Criminal Court, have zero interest in the welfare of civilians of a certain ilk, color, culture, race, creed. I don't believe you. I don't believe them. It's not trustworthy. It's fraudulent.
Farage joining marches.
Farage standing alongside
with the Iranians, where there's also Zionist flags up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mess. The messaging is a mess. Lisa Morris just posted, she's just eviscerated somebody that said to her, oh, so you cared about the Palestinians. Why are you not caring about the Iranians? She came straight back at them and said, oh, can you show me all your posts defending the slaughter of the Palestinians?
Exactly. So they aren't mutually exclusive. You know, the Iranian...
We completely support the Iranian people to have their country governed
the way they would like
Iranians,
to have it
in the way that they want it to be governed. Not bring in the Shah's son, who for 40 odd years, as they say, that chap that I was listening to this morning, has a massive gap on his resume. Why do they want him in there? Think about that.
Yeah. So hang on. So they want to replace an autocratic, theocratic regime with a monarch, with an unelected monarch. They want to replace one form of non-democrat now, and then the democracy they want will only be the democracy that brings in the power that the West wants. Because I hate to remind you of this, everyone, Hamas was voted in. Whether we like it or not, what the percentage of the vote was. You can't start going, you know, people often say, well, not everyone voted for Hamas. And go, do you know what, Billy No Mates? Virtually no one fucking voted for this fucking Labour Party. The electoral turnout here is devastating. So don't pretend that it's only in Gaza that suddenly, oh, it matters how many people vote.
And how many people are killed. It only matters in Iran, right?
It only matters in Iran. So all I'm trying to say is there are two things at work, and it's not complicated. We're human beings. We're not dung beetles. We can hold two thoughts. Iranian regime wrong, Trump, Israel, and all of the West getting their hands behind the change wrong too.
I listened to a good, an excellent Drop Site News yesterday. Follow them. They're so brilliant. And they had a really good mixed panel. And there was one Iranian woman there saying, you know, when I speak to Iranians and ask them what their greatest fear is, they talk about civil war, the civil war that could come. Now, there's 90 million people that live in Iran. And another one of their great fears is that the country is going to be carved up. Because, what does Israel say all the time? Iran is too big a country. Slice it all up. Slice it all up. I said to Mark, could we have a situation where they do what they did in, you know, with India and Pakistan and just suddenly put in a line?
Of course we could.
That could be what partition.
Could happen. This is what's going to happen if they succeed. Colonialists are going to come in, carve it up, chop it up, take the reserve-rich sections, and as just reminding us, Dodgy gets 17% voted Starmer in. But who was it who said? Someone said They started sanctioning at the very point that they stopped selling the oil. It's only about oil.
It's only about oil.
All about oil and control of the region.
And the riots, you know, began with farmers, that it is now impossible to earn a living. Now, where does that come from?
Sanctions.
Where does that come from? The sanctions that the West put on. So, you know, it's it is complicated and yet simple.
Thank you, Turkish Sultan. We did post Pompeo's tweet, I refuse to call it X, tweet about Mossad agents. Turkish Sultan, they are also tracking down Starlink users now in Iran. Pompeo has been bragging that Mossad agents are within the protests. We know they are. I mean, I just want to, this meme popped up and it's so, Trump, Iran has crossed a red line. Meanwhile, Israel does this to Gaza. We're looking at a scene from The Walking Dead.
Yeah. No lines crossed there, then, Trump.
So Israel have crossed no lines. Have Israel?
No lines.
I tell you right now.
All the ceasefires that they've got in all the different fronts that they've opened up, that all the ceasefires are just going fantastically. Children aren't freezing to death in Gaza. Well, yesterday we were up to 5 so far in this winter. 5 babies have died freezing to death in tents when there are caravans, never mind their homes have been destroyed, but there are caravans waiting on the border and they won't let them in. Can you imagine how galling this is? I feel like I'm going to explode.
Asal is brilliant. Please follow her on Instagram and on Twitter. They're blaming the wind. Look at this Associated Press headline. Gaza's living conditions worsen as strong winds and hypothermia kill 5. She's crossed out strong winds and said Gaza's living conditions worsen as Israel blocks aid.
Thank you. I'm doing a post.
I mean, and I hate to say it, we're all letting this happen. We're all letting this slow erosion of remembrance, memory, horror fit, and that's why something like The Voice of Indra Jab as a film is so vitally important that it comes out now. When we watched it, even us who are plugged into it too much, some would say, all the time, feeling it, seeing it, feeling the visceral sort of lies
and knowing what was to come from that.
Yes,
because in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. They tested this out on the Palestinians. They tested out bending international law, then breaking it, and then stamping on it. And the world did nothing. And now they're working their way round. And let us not forget, please don't let us forget, 2 months ago, Trump stood on at the lectern and said, hey, maybe I'll be leader of Europe. What do we know about Trump? All these things that he throws out there that people go, that's just Trump, you know. He says everything. Yeah, he says everything. Guess what? And then he puts it into action. So
now I really want to I just want to show you the rest of these headlines, and I do want to tackle something that is a real hornet's nest to know how to tackle and talk about when it comes to Iran. But let me just finish the headlines. Sorry, that's not one of them. Iranian protester to be executed as regime steps up brutal crackdown. Rights group claims. This is the guy who tragically is in line to be potentially the first to be executed, essentially.
Well, not the first.
Well, no, the first but the first public. No, the first trialed and executed. People have been shot. Okay. Iran's judiciary vows fast trials for arrested protesters. U.S. president says help is on its way.
Is he American, that guy?
I don't know. Hundreds of gunshot eye injuries found in one Iranian hospital amid brutal crackdown on protests. Now, here's the thing. Here's the fundamental problem here. And this is how propaganda works. We have, Nadia just really importantly reminded us that when those original protests started about essentially cost of living protests in Iran.
Cost of living.
Yeah.
Right. And the president said you have the right to protest. A few months ago, they took out the women no longer need to wear the burqa, basically. You don't have to anymore in Iran. They were trying, there's a softening with this president. That's how it started off. You have the right to protest.
So I'm in what I'm about to say. I'm not going to say who is responsible and how they're responsible, nor what the West want and what they're up to and all that. What I'm going to talk about is how difficult it is to get to truth, because you have genuine grievances of the Iranian people whose livelihoods have been destroyed, and that's what sanctions do. It's a form of, you know, in the old days, think of medieval systems of, you see a fort, what would they do? They put it under siege. They'd stop everything coming in, they'd poison the food, and eventually they have to come out. So it's what exactly like they're still doing to Gaza and like they're doing to the West Bank. Palestinians in the West Bank. That's what sanctions do. So Iran has kind of, so its population is under duress. That is in and of itself still a tool of regime change from the West. Yeah. So they protest about that. Mike Pompeo has told us there are Mossad agents on the ground. So it doesn't take, how many Mossad agents does it take to generate more anger, or if not even anger? I would even say I can't even trust wholeheartedly the headline that says there are 500 people coming in with shot wounds to the eye. Sounds remarkably like things we've heard in Gaza, where children were routinely and summarily constantly targeted in the crutch. Now, I'm not saying the IDF are there shooting people, but when you have a country that has been as criminal as Israel, supporting violence and protest and resistance in this way, when any protest or resistance that they've ever encountered from Palestinians is only described as terrorism, I find it really hard to trust headlines now. And especially find it hard to trust these headlines coming from a Western media that still this morning, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again, I've gone through everything in The Guardian and The Independent. They are reporting everything as received. We have no
Just
one
like
in
they
there.
reported everything received from the IDF.
We have no one in there.
And didn't take anything from the poor journalists, 280 of which have been slaughtered in Gaza.
No.
None of that was believed. What was reported, even though we had live streams of it, the only information that was taken from so many of the news outlets was that from the IDF.
So all we're seeing is dodgily shot footage. Again, yes, there are internet blackouts. Isn't it interesting? This is a really the beat creeper. The Jerusalem Post had an article saying Mossad agents were involved. Let me just share with you this hypocrisy. It was on the radio the other day. Everyone, multi-party, everyone's trying to find kind of connection. Farage is agreeing. Suddenly repression is bad. Suddenly resistance is good. Iran turns the internet off, and there was an outcry, as there should be, an outcry. No one said a fucking word when that happened in Gaza. No one said a word.
Our Prime Minister supported it.
And in one instance on the radio, I think Wes Streeting or some Labour fucking fool came on and said, and whilst they've got this internet blackout, they'll be conducting egregious war crimes.
Oh my God.
Bingo. Exactly what was happening in Gaza, but no one reported it. Internet turned off repeatedly, so that people struggling to get out, like Hind Rajab, as we saw in the film last night and heard her voice, couldn't fucking operate in the fucking theatre of war to rescue people. But now turning the internet off has to be called out.
Think about that.
It's not even about the rights and wrongs, and clearly it's wrong. The barefaced hypocrisy.
When it suits them. And when the oil is sloshing and the land could be theirs.
So just be careful.
Iran Riviera.
Just be careful. Just be careful. That is what you have. And we have no way, and they know, and this is the biggest fundamental point I want to make. They know Trump, Netanyahu, the Mail, the Telegraph, even the fucking Guardian's falling foul of it. No one is asking any probing questions about whose vested interests are there. They're simply receiving as right. Now, that doesn't mean Iranians don't want change, but that change has to arrive in a different way than Trump and Netanyahu silently, like Iago, whispering into his ear. That's what's happening. And we're all just watching it, and people are consuming these headlines, and suddenly everyone's going, oh, Iran, oh, Iran. You don't give a fuck about anyone in the Middle East.
You don't give a shit. You've just been signalled to do that.
Unbelievable.
The poor Iranians. Jesus Christ, 90 million people.
To all Iranian patriots, keep protesting. Take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. If the numbers are right now, I hear 5 different sets of numbers. I hear numbers. Look, 1 death is too much.
Oh, really? Oh, what about the woman taking her kid to school that you have supported, the violent, misogynistic son of a bitch who shot her 3 times in her fucking face?
1 death is too much. Is it really, Trump? Is it really?
Oh my God, I can't do this.
Is it really?
And then I hear much higher numbers, but I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops.
And you know what, Trump?
Senseless killing of protesters.
Like ICE are doing.
Like ICE?
But do you know what? Iran has probably cancelled the meeting with you, because the last time you had a peace deal meeting, you blew them all up before they got there.
And the thing is, protesters, what about your own people, Americans? Anyone that protests there is a terrorist, right? A domestic terrorist.
I was saying
The stupidity of the man.
Yeah. I'm just going to play this quote. It's going to infuriate everyone, but just listen to this. This is what the plan is. This is Nads might have to pop out just for the 2 minutes of this. So I'm just going to play you Mike Pompeo. Listen to this.
Generation of young people won't remember October 7th in the same way. That's true in Israel and in America and broadly in the world. And we need to make sure two things. One, it's not that we don't forget. We need to make sure that the story is told properly, so that when the history books write this, they don't write about the victims of Gaza, right? They can't. The history.
And people are applauding.
And it's. I should be a little more precise. There were victims in Gaza, right? It's true. There are civilian casualties in every war that's ever been fought, but the victims were the people of the nation state of Israel. Though that the aggressor was the Iranian regime in the proxy of Hamas, and we need to make sure that the history books reflect that, and that requires each of us every day to talk about it in real time with our children.
So Israel is the victim of the genocide. Okay? Just remember that. Let's make sure the history books only tell one jaundiced, hypocritical. I've got to a point where rational argument with these absolute fuckwads is impossible. Rugby tackling is the only way to deal with this shit. It's insane. It's insanity. But this slow erosion. It's like a rock being battered by the winds on the coast. That's what they're gunning for. That's what they're going for. This is the next part of the genocide: is legitimizing the genocide, legitimizing the land grab they've made, expansionism into Iran, just like 1930s Germany in their pursuit of Lebensraum. Living space. That's what Israel and America, its proxy, either way, wants in the Middle East. That's what Iran is about. They don't like anyone else who's powerful. It's just utterly galling.
What do they think? Let's read out some comments.
And just on that, before we move, because we are going to move over to ICE just for a minute again, the situation in America, and I want to read your comments out. I did say, I just don't want to forget this thought. I said to someone last night, does anyone agree with this? Bless her. And when I said it, we have to, in a weird way, things getting as bad as they're getting for Americans, my hope is that in the horror of what poor Americans are going through at the moment at the hands of ICE, it will become understood by more grassroots Americans and people around the world who see this going on. There will be an understanding of what resistance is and why resistance happens and how resistance isn't terrorism. And in a weird way, that's part of my focus on ICE at the moment and the situation in America, is that the answer could well be that in the Americans fighting back against the system, this will legitimize and explain away to everyone exactly the plight of the Palestinians, exactly the plight of Black South Africans when the ANC was prescribed a terrorist organization, and the right of people in Iran to protest and fight against a repressive regime without the jaundiced, Machiavellian, self-interested, colonial, white supremacist, fascist hand of the West holding the fucking reins of power.
Preach.
It's not complicated. It's a horror story. As a student of history, we are in a far worse situation than we were in 1930s Germany, because it was just 1930s Germany. Far worse. People get. Someone yesterday, a Labour guy, someone talked about a fucking biscuit with the Palestinian flag on it as being taking them back to it was anti-Semitic and it takes me back to 1930s Germany. Go do one. No, it doesn't.
How dare he?
You've got no comprehension. Comment, sorry, no one's telling me to remember certain history, says Tanya Bartlett, not the murder of thousands in Gaza.
Thank you.
And the West Bank.
Keep. We've all got the videos, right?
Nadine.
And as we said, Hind Rajab.
Thank you, Piano
Piece
Man.
of history
Very kind.
made, a piece of history recorded in a very important way. Thank you so much, Piano Man.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting the channel.
Yeah, really. Nadine Casson saw a Reddit post saying the children of Greenland are scared. It's not sleeping and having nightmares. It's like the next chapter of dictatorship, just waiting till it happens. Okay, well, on
But we've got Trump standing at lectern crying for the protesters that are being frightened.
Well, whilst we've got the image of Greenland's
As if he gives a
children
shit about
crying,
them.
and let's remember what Bjork said in her post. Go and check out Bjork's Instagram. I'll keep your post up. Listen to what Trump had to say.
Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the
Who
final
said
word? The premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with them. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
So the Premier
With
of
his
Greenland
USA.
doesn't even know who he is.
Oh my God.
Hasn't even taken the time to find out. Doesn't
I think
care.
he was going to argue that there wasn't one. That's what he was going to say.
Yeah, maybe. They
Yeah.
truly believe their madness is sickening and so very scary.
Yeah,
Who were the arseholes under Mike Pompeo clapping?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
don't know.
Probably the ones that still believe that all the lies that were told at the beginning, you know. But remember when Biden said, I've seen all the photos of the beheaded babies, and the White House had to come out and say that he hadn't because there weren't any, and that babies were being microwaved. Do you remember all of that?
Yeah.
Is that what's going to go down in history now?
Yeah.
In the history books? Because we sure know now when we look at our history books how skewed it all is to make those who need it to be is sanitized, whitewashed.
And also, I do keep hearing this story. I need to, one needs to, yeah, well, thank you. We've got hold of them.
So are your children and your children's children and your children's children's children.
Have you heard?
Because
Yeah.
this cannot be swept away.
Have you heard the stories of the wildfires in Argentina?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I'm waiting for
Uh-huh.
that story to get a little bit more kind of not substance, but I just want to be able to verify some stuff. I'm just gonna, yeah.
Did you see that the Australian was this?
Jenna Nanana.
Hi, Jenna. No, how are you?
Did you guys see that the Australian ambassador to the US, former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, has resigned from the role a year early? Interesting to see what comes out in relation to that. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Joy Duncan.
What do you think's going on there then?
First, they came for the communists. I did not speak because I was not communist. And they
love
came for the
this.
socialists, and I did not speak because I was not a socialist. And then move on.
And then move on, and
then
move.
move
That's
on.
the same as in our thousands in our millions, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same. Essence.
I've had to strip the audio off this. I'm just going to plop up and we're going to carry on talking. You keep the comments coming in. This was unbelievably, Nadia said, please don't show it to me, not in front of the kids. I wasn't, but I was so shocked last night. This was uploaded with a track by, is it Lourdes or Lord? On the White House Instagram account. And it's footage of helicopters. Blessed are the peacemakers. This is obviously a veiled threat to unclassified, look, undercover
green.
helicopters.
It was in green. It was a Greenland.
Undercover helicopters dropping people off.
For Iran.
It's night vision. Yeah, for Iran. People with guns walking around in the dark. Secret ops. They posted this, sort of going, look, but for they shall be called sons of God.
Oh my
Matthew.
God!
I mean, this if
Fundamentalists.
If Iran was
Can you imagine?
if Iran was posting quotes from the Quran over shots of them doing anything like this, everyone would be told to kind of hunker down, and we're watching images of troops blowing doors off, secret
Just
ops,
unbelievable.
Marines.
Look at it. If ever, I mean, boys, dangerous little boys who stand with snot running down their nose, holding their willies because they're a bit scared, playing war games. This is Hegseth. That's how I
Walking
see
people
him.
off.
People cuffed. This is for podcast. We're saying what we're seeing.
It's a montage
It's
glorifying all the abductions, the secret operations of the army, clearly as a veiled threat to Iran, saying this is what's going to happen to you. This is what's going to happen to you, Greenland.
Meet Laura Lou.
My friend lives in Minnesota, just her and her little girl. Bloody hell. I bet they're scared to go out and have ICE knocking on doors, not just getting people in the streets. A friend of ours, she's bringing her whole, she works in TV in LA. She's bringing her whole family back to the UK. She said she can't take it anymore. It's just so unpredictable. It's so volatile. It's so, the guardrails off. You know, when you play 10-pin bowling, guardrails have literally been taken off. It's a free-for-all. I just want to show you, this is just some latest ICE clips, just to remind you that it's still, you know, what's happening there can happen here. And as I said earlier, baked into any resistance to what's happening in America is potentially a kind of clarion call for everyone else who's resisting around the rest of the world. This is
So like the idea. Unbelievable.
the City Council president that they're talking about.
Do you have an ID on you, ma'am?
I don't need an ID to walk around in.
President take videos of federal agents use evidence to legal action. I mean, this is presupposing. See, any legal action, it's like the situation, we were talking to people about this last night, it's like the situation in Gaza. We all hope that there will be a judgment day. I hate to tell you guys, there ain't going to be a judgment day. There ain't going to be some answerability. There is not going to be a day. Let me give you clear, whatever you, and I mean, you disagree on this, Michu. It's clear. We are not coming out of this. There is not going to be a clear day where all these ICE agents are going to have he's created a militia that will look after him because he's now, think about it, he's got them all in so deep. ICE agent officers are now in so deep that they will do whatever he tells them to do to protect themselves.
I saw this one video, I don't know if I sent it to you, and she's a disabled woman. She was being dragged out by maybe 6 or 7 of those thugs. And she was screaming, help me. And there was lots of people filming. And I put a comment underneath saying, look at the way she is split second pausing and looking into each camera, because that's all she could do. She needed her face to be seen as she's being dragged off. Mm-hmm. They won't let people reach into their bag and get their ID. They won't let people, when they're standing by their door, go into their door and get their ID. Mm. And as we showed yesterday, AOC talking about the 3 trillion that has been moved over now to, I mean, the money pot is endless for this. No country can stand up to it.
The damage Trump has done, says Reese, would take decades to only slightly undo. I totally agree. Absolutely. That's kind of what I was referring to earlier. And
poor Americans, my God, what a shock.
One wonders how much worse it would be if we didn't have all the ability to video. Well, that's my point. What we see, which I'm going to show you something else. What we see is appalling.
That's what worries me next.
Is what
how are they going to control that?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's a matter of time before some fucking bright spark at the White House posting on Instagram goes, maybe we can put some pressure on Zuckerberg to stop these clips being uploaded. Do you remember when that happened with the IDF? And the other thing, Reese,
what happened with COVID? Where you couldn't post anything.
Well, you weren't allowed to say anything. You weren't allowed to question anything. Otherwise, you got an alert. I mean, I can't believe how controlled we all were. I literally, and we are. I can't believe how controlled we were and are. It's staggering to behold. And just that thought, Reese, that you were just making there. I was trying to say this yesterday. I don't think I said it very clearly. My worry is that what Trump has rolled back in terms of resistance and the feeling in those who disagree with him, you can't just put that, like you can't put the genie back in the bottle of the ICE militia and the Proud Boys. They're fired up and pumped up. You also can't put back in the bottle the fear and the trauma. There is now post-traumatic, there's PTSD for hundreds of thousands, millions of Americans who've either encountered these thugs or fear they're going to encounter these thugs or fear they're going to be the next to encounter these thugs.
It's like Angelina Jolie got asked yesterday at a press conference how she was feeling about it. She was so shocked. She was like, you know, in a press conference, this is a very difficult thing to answer. Words have power. And then she's very smart, isn't she? She answered very well. But there was one line in it when she said, fundamentally, I don't recognize my country anymore. And I thought, yeah, we look at this, and how many people say, we were with a lot of people last night that said, I keep thinking it's the IDF when I see these videos. This is unrecognizable to us as America. And I just feel so sorry for the good American people, which of course are the majority. How are you coping with this? How are you coping?
Trump is to blame, says Fontaines Forever, for sure, but never forget the powers that are behind him. Zionists, Big Pharma.
Yep.
There are many wicked people involved. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. All the big corporations that are funding this. We had his silly little musky boy yesterday up on the stage. We're gonna make a Star Trek real. We're gonna go and find aliens. You know, that's why Grok is coming into the all your most what is their system?
Grok.
Yeah, Grok is coming into
the Pentagon's defense system.
Into the Pentagon's defense system. That was announced yesterday.
Yeah, I've got those
to both classified and unclassified from Hegseth, talking from his hot tub.
We're excited to announce the next frontier AI model company to join GenAI.mil, and that is Grok from xAI, which will go live later this month. So I want to thank you, Elon, and your incredible team for leaning forward with us on this as well. Very soon, we will have the world's leading AI models on every unclassified and classified network throughout our department. Long overdue.
About that, America.
Well, as we're here, let's just hear what
I'll tell you a little bit just about the purpose of SpaceX. It's like we want to make Star Trek real.
Can I just say?
We want to make Star Trek real. But we're going to go hunting for aliens, world.
They can't.
What do you think, guys?
They can't even do extraterrestrials right. You've just had a clearly, by most, free-thinking amateur astronomers and Harvard astronomers thinking, you've just had something fly by that's deeply suspicious and potentially artificial tech. You missed what? Oh, we're going to go out and we're going to find. Well, listen to the rest of what he says.
Okay. We want to make Starfleet Academy real, so that it's not always science fiction, but one day the science fiction turns to science fact. And we have spaceships going through space, big spaceships, with people going to other planets, going to the moon, and ultimately going beyond our star system to other star systems where we may meet aliens or discover long dead alien civilizations. I don't know, but we want to go and we want to see what's happening, and we want to have epic futuristic spaceships.
Oh God, I'm so excited. I don't have my medical insurance. I don't have a home. I could step out into my front garden and get shot by one of your ice guys. Hey, we could go and find aliens.
Oh, baby. It's going to space, baby. And when they see you, Elon, they'll run a fucking light year. Jesus.
He's like a James Bond villain, says George.
He's staggering.
We're going to make the Star Trek Academy.
Staggering.
Talk to the... Listen, you couldn't find one of the folks you were looking for when you went in and smashed up the buildings looking for all the people that were apparently ripping off the American people. Nobody's in court for that, are they? Nobody's in court for that. But you're gonna take us to the moon and you're gonna help us find aliens.
He does a disservice to science fiction.
What about all
Elon
the corruption that he was going to reveal and he was going to get sorted out?
Well,
he's just given up on that.
Well, no, he's gone back up. He's been offered an AI deal with the fucking Pentagon. Think about that, guy.
Think about that. Grok
is going to be indelibly entwined with the Pentagon security.
Because then he goes on Hegseth in that, and he talks about no more woke in our You're just like, oh my fucking Christ. He goes on and on about how brilliant Grok is going to be because we're not going to be controlled, basically, if we want to go to war.
But
it's going to be programmed to agree with us.
But Trump has got this to say about it.
Oh, no, I'm going to have to lie down. No, I saw this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He was impersonating Biden.
Coughing. He's in hospital with
It's
aggressive
nice.
prostate
It's
cancer.
nice, isn't it? Whatever you think of the old fucking duffer.
The old
Okay, we
genocider.
were going to talk about just the final thing in the title, Starmer to join the Gaza board. Well, what more can we say other than it's the same?
Debbie has an AI deal with the aliens.
Yeah, I think he does. I think they do. I think possibly when they went by, maybe it was all struck. Michu says he hasn't agreed. Various
Yes, exactly. I love that answer. Sarah, would that not be a bad idea for the security? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Just quickly to say, like the papers are reporting that he's likely to join. He hasn't said he's going to join. He's toying with the idea of joining. So let me hold that story back for the day he actually says he's going to join, because you remember how fucking much I lost the plot around Tony Blair. I'm going to have exactly the same response to this.
Here.
Let's hold it back.
We need to go.
We need to go.
Because
All right,
I
guys.
need to lie in a cold bath of baked beans or something.
Nice. Okay.
Or I need to lie in a bath of bleach or something. Don't do that, folks.
Oh
it
my
will
God,
hurt
no,
you.
that will
Don't
hurt.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take your own medical advice. What I'm meaning by that is I don't know how to feel clean again from talking about these people. And yet I know it's so important that we talk about these people because we want... What do we want? We can't reverse any of it.
Suddenly, no lighty, no likey looks really quite attractive.
Oh, God. We love you guys.
See
Don't
you,
forget members
tonight.
area tonight. No politics. Hanging out.
And go and check out our Hamnet review. It landed last night. It's up. Go and check
And
it
if you
out.
want to giggle, just go and check out my post I'll put up on Instagram. Some nice little clips of us being silly and funny.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take